What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and this is going to be All Hail the King, Episode 4. This is going to be a special Horseman episode, and hopefully you tuned in to the From the Helicarrier podcast. That way you're already familiar with the concept that we're going to go over in this episode. But if for some reason you did miss the show, you can check it out at www.thehelicarrier.com. And while you're there, you can listen to past episodes as well. Trust me, they're very entertaining. Now, moving on to our team up, we're going to be using Beast, the Horseman of Pestilence, along with Scarlet Witch. I like to call this team Controlled Pestilence, and that's due to Scarlet Witch's Empowered ISO 8. The statistical Empowered ISO 8 grants controlled chaos. Chaos Shield never misses and never fails. You're going to want to farm this E-ISO, and you can find it in Chapter 2, Mission 6, and that's of course in Season 2. The Chaos Shield is extremely important because it's one of the few abilities that can reverse some debuffs, in spite of Pestilence's Paradise Lost. When Pestilence is on the battlefield, you know how Rescue, the Cube, and even the Scroll can't remove debuffs. Well, Scarlet Witch's level 6 Chaos Shield can reverse them. Like I said, this is one of the few ways to counteract Beast, and this of course works out quite well on offense. So you can really take advantage of this when you team her up with Beast yourself. Now, another really important thing is the fact that Beast's level 6 causes an ISO Contagion. At first it's passed back and forth. When the timer ticks down, you get something called Outbreak, and it turns into a ton of debuffs. Well, with this team, you can actually use that to your advantage. If it does outbreak on one of your teammates, you can attack the enemies, preferably with an AoE attack, and due to another one of Beast's passives, Faustian Bargain, you'll pass those debuffs onto your enemies as well. Then when it's Scarlet Witch's turn, you can use her level 6 Chaos Shield and reverse almost all the debuffs on your team. Now that's the main mechanic for this team, but Scarlet Witch also has some other really nice abilities that work well with Beast. First, she can place Hexed on the enemy team, and this will cause their attacks to often backfire. It's a really annoying ability that's made even worse by the fact that your enemy can't remove it. Also, her level 9 is a probability field, so it's going to buff your team and debuff the enemy team. Now with all that being said, let's take a closer look at all that in action. At this point our agent's really close to death, and he does get finished, but he gets a big and fast proc. At the start of his turn, he gets an ISO 8 outbreak, so look at all those debuffs. He's definitely gonna die if we don't do something about it. With his attack, I'll go ahead and use the Chaos Shot on their agent. This is a pretty amazing weapon to be used with Beast. It has Chaos Shot, so it's going to put a lot of dots on the opponent. And then you can also fire Exploitation Rounds, and it does amazing damage. And it's a free weapon that can be found in Season 2, Chapter 2, Mission 6, and that's on Challenge Mode. Now that it's Scarlet Witch's turn, let's take a look at her level 6. So there's Chaos Shield. The next attack will restore health instead of causing damage. And then many harmful status effects become replaced by their opposite. So let's use that on our team and watch what it does for everyone, especially my agent. You'll start to see a number of buffs take place, and I'll show you exactly what happened in just a moment. First, we have to get through Quicksilver's turn. His first attack, Vortex Lariat, heals our team. And next, he uses a tag team, but our agent avoids it. Then we have to skip our agent's turn because we did use the Shepherd's Staff. Luckily, Magneto's going to die to dots. Alright, so now let's take a look at our agent. And look what happened to all those debuffs. We gained Regen ×2, Resist Chilled, Poison, and then we gained Agile, Focused, Fortified, and Strengthened. So that's quite the turnaround, and it's all thanks to Scarlet Witch's level 6. Now with Pestilence, we're going to get 2 attacks, and that's because of Follow the Lead. Their agent is next to act, so I'm going to hit him with a level 9 Jekyll and Hyde. This ability exploits attrition, so it can do a ton of damage. Now one more attack and their agent's going to be KO'd. Just to be safe, I'll go ahead and use his level 9 once again. So we know what kind of damage it can do, and we only need 13,500. First, Quicksilver does proc a blast from the past, and we barely survive it. But the important thing is we did survive, so we got to finish their agent, and now we get 2 attacks with Scarlet Witch. So first she's going to hit her brother with her level 1. That's because it will place Hexed on him, and his attacks will now have a chance to backfire. Now our level 2 can actually do a lot of damage, especially when the enemy has Hexed. Her level 2 Arcane Blast can consume Hexed from targets to deal extra damage and cause random damage over time effects. So we do manage to get a pretty nice hit on Quicksilver. Unfortunately, he's barely alive. He did get hit with that ISO outbreak, so he's not quite as scary as he would be. So after his very next turn, we should be able to finish this battle. He also misses his second attack. And to finish it, we're going to use the Exploitation Rounds from the Chaos Shot SMG. This should do plenty of damage, but it would do a whole lot more if he had more than poison. But like I said, it does do enough damage to win. So now moving on to our second battle, it's against a really tough defensive matchup. This team, and substituting Juggernaut for War Machine, the original costume, were my main defensive teams last season. So I know they're not easy to beat. But let's see how well Controlled Pestilence does against them. I did switch my costume as well as some of my weapons, so now my agent has the Empowered Infiltrator armor, and the Hotshot, plus the Hard Knocks. Unfortunately, Juggernaut can't be stunned. But it looks like Beast is going to be the first act for our team. So what we're going to do is use his level 6, and that's a quick action, and then typically you'll want to use his level 2. That's mainly for the mind control. Oh, and it looks like their agent has Relentless as well, so he's immune to stun. They also have the Mystic Shroud, and it doesn't even matter. For this battle, I'm actually going to try something different. I'm going to hit Juggernaut with Beast's Heart of Darkness. I'm thinking that if I put that Nano Plague on him, maybe he won't use his level 9, and if he does, at least he won't gain the benefits. Otherwise, Juggernaut really has that one-hit potential, and he could kill someone on my team in one shot. Now their agent also has the Scroll of Angolob, which is now useless as far as removing any debuffs, and that is because of that Paradise Lost. Our agent is once again going to get that ISO 8 outbreak, so I hope we make it to Scarlet Witch, that way we can reverse all those debuffs once again. One good thing about this is the fact that we can use the Hotshot and place all those debuffs on the enemies. So yeah, they may not get stunned, but they do get all those other negative effects. But unfortunately, we only hit the Juggernaut, and the enemy team gets 2 dodges. So now we have Juggernaut attacking, and this may be bad for our team. He is severely debuffed, however, and most importantly, he does have Burning, so we should preemptively hit him with the Hard Knocks. Also, let's see if he uses his level 9. And he does, but he doesn't gain the Unstoppable Force or Strengthened. And here goes our Hard Knocks, but it doesn't do nearly enough damage. Now unfortunately, we have to go ahead and see all this text pop up once again. And then he's finally going to hit us, and we'll see how much damage he does. So he hits us with a Sunday Punch, and we are stunned. But I had the Orfrost Mace equipped, so we're allowed to die once. Now look at all those debuffs on my agent. The Chaos Shield is going to reverse pretty much all of them. There are a few things that it doesn't reverse, but look, it even takes stun away. It gave me an extra turn, regen, and everything. The only problem this time is the ISO 8 outbreak popped up on my agent once again. So I'm going to have all those debuffs, even though we just reversed them. That's pretty bad luck, but maybe we can pass those debuffs onto one of the enemies. And let's try on Quicksilver. Sadly, he dodges once again, so they're getting extremely lucky right here. At least this first tag team does heal us, but he passes the ISO 8 Contagion on, and he's going to get another turn as well. For his second attack, he hits my agent and knocks him out of the battle. It looks like it's going to be up to Pestilence and Scarlet Witch to win this one. Alright, so this is a pretty tough call. Who should we attack first? We do have Juggernaut there, but he has a few dots and he should die to those. Their agent is next to act and he has some really good buffs on him like Strengthen. So I'm going to hit him and place Nano Plague, as well as Generalized, and pass that ISO 8 Contagion. So now it outbreaks on him. He's going to do considerably less damage. Just go ahead and watch this. He uses a Warbringer Axe and only does 9,000 damage. Then those dots do take out Juggernaut, and it's time to use Hexed on their team. Like I said before, this will cause some of their attacks to backfire. This not only means it's going to miss, it also will deal damage to the person who attacked. So right away Quicksilver does a tag team which backfires on him. And now he has the ISO 8 outbreak as well. Right away you'll notice that he does a lot less damage. With his tag team he barely even hurt us. And now with his blinding punches, it doesn't do that much damage to Scarlet Witch up until those final critical hits. Since both enemies have a few debuffs on them, I'm going to go ahead and use Jekyll and Hyde, starting with their agent. It does a nice amount of damage and he is knocked out of the battle. Then with Scarlet Witch I'll use her level 9 probability field. Now look at all those debuffs. Quicksilver has so many on him at this point. So we pretty much just have to wait through his last 2 turns, and then we will easily finish him. If Beast can't do it, then Scarlet Witch surely will. So right now we're coming to the end of the episode, and I really hope you enjoyed it. It's a fantastic team and I do suggest you try it. Also, I will provide a link to the latest from the Helicarrier podcast in the description below. So make sure you check that site out and keep tuning in every Tuesday. That way you can catch an awesome podcast and be among the first to hear the new All Hail the King segment. The next video hopefully will be an Iceman recruited video, and I'll also show him in action. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. And lastly, I want to thank you all for watching, and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck, and take care.